managing of, the only problem is when who answers to what. There's overlapping government agencies that, oh, it's not my work, it's not my work, or there's more money for this, or there's no money for that. So that's the politics of management in Malaysia. Like, I don't know whether JKPI is locally managed or federally managed. Certain budget comes from local government, certain budget comes from the municipal council, and then certain budget comes from federal. So when we have to manage things like waste or any other form of management, that's the overlapping difficulties in it.
Ms. Mu, in addition,
well, I don't know how to manage the waste management, but in Indonesia there is a very ambitious and very innovative festival that combines music and environmental consciousness, the one called Festival of Synchronization, or Synchronization Festival. I think that's been taking place over the last 10 years. It's a modern music festival, but at the same time the organizer has this vision to promote environmental consciousness and reduce this waste during the events. So every year they calculate how much waste they produce, and then they have shown that the quantity has been reducing. And some of the interesting ideas they are having their next in October in Jakarta. They said they negotiated with Transjakarta. So those who use public transport to go to the venue will get a privileged access. Not those who use the cars. But usually it's opposite, right? You have VIP corner, and who come with a big car, get a better access. Opposite. It's those who actually come with public transport get a discount and have privileged access. And of course they have local salads and then are distributing, negotiating with vendors, the sponsors, not the bring people's one-time packaging. And then of course the musicians themselves are very active spiritually. So they use this platform for the messaging. And so some very innovative ideas like you can think about. Now, my ambition is that the localities who are facing with the challenge of the waste management, I want to see them convert themselves into the creative cities of upcycling. Upcycling or recycling. I don't know if you want to do competitions on contemporary art, use all the waste garbages, and they turn it into your resources for your strengths, rather than not knowing what the whole is garbage. Okay, it sounds very wishy-washy, but it's really interesting to see how to convert your challenges into creative assets later. So that's anybody interested in doing contemporary exhibitions on waste, using waste, please let me know. We can plan something together.
There is a festival index where if you participate or want it to be a green festival, then you have to have all these practices in place. I think a lot of people are trying to go that, and as also, and another thing is, as a human being, you have always got to think, what are you putting out there, and what are you putting out, and what are you wasting? And I think it starts with individual and education.
Mr. Daud, is it the same strategy implemented in Indonesia, or what do you think about the waste management in our country?
Yeah, I think the waste management is a problem in almost everywhere. And in Yogyakarta, there's always a problem as well. And, but I think there is some effort to cope with this. And now the mayor of Yogyakarta has quite a good move in trying to fix the waste management for Yogyakarta. And of course, we are now getting better in managing the waste. And of course, we also try to now starting to regulate the water resource, especially especially for high building, take the underground deep water well, yeah, deep well. So we try to do that, yeah, as part of our commitment, Yogyakarta commitment with the environmental program.
Okay, Mr. Dell, still for Mr. Dell, from Prima, what role does community-based cultural conservation play in the sustainability of heritage cities, and how can JKPI strengthen this model? From Prima, what role does community-based cultural conservation play in the sustainability of heritage cities, and how can JKPI strengthen this model?
Yeah.
Okay. What role does community-based cultural conservation play in the sustainability of heritage cities, and how can JKPI strengthen this model?
Strengthen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it's very important to involve people in heritage conservation, because some of the heritages belong to the people. So sometimes we claim that the heritage, although they have the owners, but we claim to do something like that and have to direct them how to do. Yeah. But we never teach or never give them or transfer our knowledge to them how to do the good conservation. So if we try to share our knowledge and skill in conservation to people, people will have the capability to preserve by themselves. So this will, I think it's very useful for the heritage conservation in general. Yeah. So I think like JKPI, if we want to do something, maybe something like a sharing knowledge works, how to make and how to conserve heritage and something like that.
How empower the citizens? How we empower the citizens in the context of urban heritage tourism to achieve sustainable tourism, and etc.
Yeah, of course, through planning. Yes. If I'm not mistaken, because it's not quite clear the question. So if we want to, sometimes sustainable tourism only as a jargon, not really applied in realities. So if we have to do a real sustainable tourism, then we have to plan and we have to talk what is the good way to do the sustainable tourism. So, like I mentioned before, the most important thing is dialogue with all the stakeholders to decide which one is the best one for us to do the sustainable tourism. And then we go to the next step, that is the planning, integrated planning for conservation, for tourism, and for urban development as well. I think that's, we have to start with talking and planning.
Thank you, Mr. Dell. Ms. Mo?
Just to share my observation, I think in Indonesia, but many parts of Southeast Asia, planning about heritage and tourism still tend to be very top-down. And so what do? There's office of the minister, parties, they hire consultants who come from somewhere, do fancy work, go, pocket money and go. But the knowledge and know-how are not anchored in the local communities. And that's the most unsustainable way of doing tourism development. The models I always recommend is just invite your NGOs. Like in any localities, you have artists, you have community development NGOs, you have NGOs working in the environmental sector, women safety. You have human resources in places. Bring them together, and this is what I guess what also means with the dialogues. And actually give them space to do good work, rather than government trying to be always the one planning to exhaustion. But rather your job is to give a free space, an enabling space, as to your target. Space where those artists, activists, the NGOs can actually do their work better, rather than government trying to do their own projects, programs. So that's really my advice. And I am sure in every case there is a super talent in Indonesia, not short of creative people.